grew up in a I was born in a very small town here in Morocco that had like literally two main streets. And that's where I was born. And I spent like the earliest years of my life. And there was not like great access to good schools where I was born, or like any extracurricular activities or sports or music or all of the stuff that like kids, like parents want their kids to learn. And both of my parents are teachers. They worked for the government, and like since I can remember, they've been filing a request to move. They wanted to bring us to the capital because like they wanted us to have a better education. And I was still in primary school when like that ended up happening. My parents were able to like get a home in the capital, and they moved us. And in Morocco, like you said, there was this huge economic change. So luckily we have like a large middle class, which is good. But a large portion of the population doesn't have access to good schooling still. And if you want to invest in your education, then you have to go to a private school. And so my parents were presented with that choice, like what will be their investment. And I remember my dad speaking one day with one of his friends who was talking about like buying this huge farm on the countryside. And like my dad was listening, he was saying congratulations. And then the guy asked like, what are you gonna do? What are you investing in? And then my dad like proudly said, I'm investing in my children's education, and because I want them to build a better life for themselves. So when we came to the capital, my parents like put me in one of the best schools here, which like I'm still grateful for until this day. But just before that, I've always been like the smartest kid in my town and in my class, and I came in, it was like all of these kids that had access to like way more opportunities than I had before. So it was like a little bit of a shock to my system, and I'm like, okay, we gotta step it up. These kids like have been speaking English since they were 5, and French, and like you have to make an effort in order to be like unique in this place, like to show who you are. So like that's when I'd say like my fight to learn more skills started. And after that I was able to get a scholarship to get to one of the best colleges here in Morocco, which is the National School of Architecture, to study architecture here at the capital. That was a wonderful experience. Learned a lot of stuff that I still like use to this day in my work for LEAD. And then I started my social involvement journey with an association called the Great Debaters. So the way I got involved is like there was this debate, the debate competition that like everyone can sign up for, and I'm like, okay, let me just try. And it went terrible. It went terribly. I was so nervous, and I was excluded from the first round. But like that was my first introduction to this the debate passion. It's like that's where all the people who have a lot of things to say go, and that's like celebrated. So I joined, and I started participating in debate competitions, and then that led to me volunteering to like participate in creating programs that would teach other girls and young boys in like remote areas debate, and like having a critical mind, researching a lot of subjects, growing your culture. And then on my third year, I was going through this mental change where like I really loved what I was studying and what I was doing as an architect, but like I felt like something was missing, like missing some fulfillment, personal fulfillment. And I got involved with this organization called Enactus, and what they do is teach the entrepreneurial approach to students in schools and in colleges. So I founded the Enactus association in my university, and we created this entire movement where like a lot of kids were trying to do to use like the entrepreneurial approach to solve problems in their community. And we would go visit a lot of villages and try to create social impact there. And that's where I knew like this was my calling. This is what I want to do. And thanks to my work with Enactus, I got the opportunity to get a scholarship to study social entrepreneurship at the University of Connecticut. So I went to the US. It was an intensive session, but that was like very eye-opening because I met a lot of other people from like all around the world who were passionate about the same thing. And that kind of gave me the confidence to kind of say that this is what I want to do. And yeah, that's how and then it led to my work with LEAD.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that journey.